Hello, everybody. President Trump has survived an assassination attempt. It is, I can't believe I have just said that out loud. Elizabeth Farah and Josh Turnbow, we are now live here on WND Live to cover and go over the timeline of today. I know everybody's been paying attention to social media, to the news networks out there. There has been some coverage, excellent coverage all over the place. And as the details start to get solidified, the first and foremost, President Trump released a statement on Truth Social, and we'll have all of these things up to cover tonight. But there's a lot of mixed emotions on my end, folks. I am saddened that we are at this stage in our country's history, but I am. Pardon my French, I am pissed off as well. And, but I have a lot of resolve, and I was packing for my trip to the RNC tomorrow, and I cannot believe what we're going to be walking into next week. But let's go over what we know of today. The best place to do this for folks here at WorldNetDaily is to go to our Twitter feed. And Josh, you have been the team has been feverishly gathering footage and photos and video. Let's set up the timeline. We are in Butler, Pennsylvania, at a showgrounds in Pennsylvania, in rural Pennsylvania, to say the least. But Josh, where should we set up the timeline here? What can we look at over here on the X feed?
Folks, thanks for coming on with us tonight. So what we're going to set up for you, if I'm sure you're aware, I'm sure your phone has been buzzing and ringing off the hook, and we're coming live. We want to give you our current update on the timeline. We'll take you back to the first videos that we did see, the first leaks that came out. We're also going to just kind of go forward from there up to the current moment. And we're going to do that by looking at our X account, WorldNetDaily at X. That's on the bottom of the screen here. You're going to be able to follow along there, and that's going to have the most breaking news. Obviously, this is going live at the moment to Facebook and YouTube. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of give some commentary, and then we're going to go through the timeline. Some of the stuff you've seen, some of it you will not have seen. So we want you to stay with us. And I think, Elizabeth, we'd love to hear from you.
You know, I think that praying for our country and praying for, wow, I have not done that today. I got a little choked up there. But anyway, we've been praying in my household. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, I think on a Monday, because I said, Friday, my mom, my husband, and I were sitting at the Sabbath dinner table, and I said, we need to go to prayer for President Trump or former President Trump, whatever. And he is in so much danger right now. And so we prayed for protection over him. We prayed that his Secret Service would be up to the task. We specifically focused on the Secret Service, that they were alert and cautious and wary of all potential dangers. And we asked for God to shut down the evil intentions of those in this country who would destroy us, who want chaos and anarchy in order to bring this country down and to take it into a totalitarian state, because that's the road you take. You introduce so much chaos and anarchy, death, vile words, just vitriol. And we have seen this now for 3.5 years against Donald J. Trump. We have seen actresses and actors. We've seen other kinds of celebrities. We have seen Maxine Walters, and Schumer was actually pointing at the Supreme Court justices and threatening them. But we have seen some language that is unheard of in America. That one comedian who held up a head of Donald Trump with blood dripping down from it, and fake blood. And I guess what I was wondering then is, why doesn't somebody like this get arrested? These are real threats. We've talking about actresses and actors, celebrities, going before millions of people and saying, take him down, bomb the White House, whatever. I don't have all the quotes by verbatim, but the point is that but with Donald J. Trump, and David Capellian wrote a brilliant piece on this last week, is being called Hitler. And there's a reason for this. It is not because he's like Hitler, because very few people in the world are like Hitler. And certainly Donald J. Trump is not one of them. He is being called Hitler because you and I know that if we were alive in Nazi Germany and we were on the side of righteousness and we saw Hitler and we had the means, we would have taken him out, because that would have been our Christian duty. That would have been our duty to God, country, to the innocent lives that were destroyed. That would have been our duty. What the Democrats are doing, the Democrats and the media, the complicit media, is putting into the brains of lunatics and psychopaths, and you know what? Leftists, just plain old leftists, and throw in some Islamopascists. And they're putting this into the brain of these people, claiming that he is such a risk that you would call him Hitler. And what would that person think, especially if they are not have a stable mind?
Yes.
I've got to save my country.
Yes.
And I've got to take this man out.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, maybe later I would like to go to prayer with our audience, or, our viewers. And again, God bless Donald Trump. God bless his country. And we pray destruction upon the evil plans of those in this country who would destroy us. Yes. and kill our former president.
Guys, we have a great comment from Mimi Job. God was truly watching over President Trump.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And our prayers have to be there for him.
Yeah. So let's go through this timeline and watch how this went down, because President Trump was at one of his rallies. It was going to be his last rally before the Republican National Convention kicks off on Monday. There's folks already in Milwaukee now, but he was at this rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, and he had only been speaking for maybe 6, 7, maybe 10 minutes since he got on stage. And is this the video? Is this the moment here when he's speaking?
Yeah, this is one of the first videos, and I'm gonna go ahead and play it when you're ready.
Yeah, let's go watch this.
Saying fight, told the Secret Service to wait. I'm gonna go a little farther back in the timeline here. We're gonna get the video up of the moment. Here's this video. I'm going to pull the sound down as we go. Hold on 1 second. And guys, please bear with us. This is all live, obviously. Here we go.
What happened?
That's a lot of shots.
God.
Horrific.
What happened?
And that shot, that leads to this.
What a moment,
big, guys! Here,
what a moment!
Here we go.
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna open it big again. Let's all listen. Listen to that. It's an amazing moment. This is going to be with us forever.
I will never forget this moment.
Incredible. I mean,
that's not an ordinary man.
No.
Somebody called him an alpha male, the height of alpha maleness. That is true. And somebody called him forget it. But anyway,
Well, it's the Teddy Roosevelt. It's reminiscent of Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, Teddy survived a similar attempt, and Trump is very reminiscent of Teddy Roosevelt's resolve. And then I even want to think back to the legend of George Washington, who had 2 horses shot out from under him. He had bullet holes in his own jacket, yet was never hit. I mean, there is divine protection over this country, and certain people rise to the occasion, and God looks out for them. And that's not to diminish any of the things that we're all sinners, right? We're all sinners.
Right.
So God uses who He needs to use. And
there are many people praying.
That's absolutely true. And look at this is an iconic photo. This is over here on the X, on WorldNetDaily on X. I mean, this is right up there with the 9/11 flag video. This is up there, or photograph with the Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima.
It's
it looks like Iwo Jima in a lot of ways.
It does.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be.
This captures the moment. Sorry, we're going to be interrupting each other. We can do that. That's the rule.
It's a little wild, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like an incredible image. This will be the image of this era. Now, there's nothing like this. All assassination photos and video are not triumphant. They're destructive and they're sad, and there's been nothing like this before.
Yeah. And it has all of that. I mean, it has resolve, it has sadness because the former president has been shot, but it encapsulates everything. You've got the Secret Service protection. You've got the Secret Service. He's watching you, Josh. He's watching you. The guy in the glasses.
I mean, it's amazing.
We're going to see this. This is a photo that will live on in infamy, as we've said.
We don't have that clip of where he was actually talking, and you could hear the what he was saying right before he was shot.
I think what we had was the moment. We had a couple of words, but if you have he was talking.
That's all right. It was really good.
Yeah. I mean, his rallies are great. He's got some.
I was thinking more of that.
Here's the clip. We'll go to this. I'll enlarge it so we can see it.
Please.
What happened?
Okay, it always plays without me. Here we go. Okay. This is the moment, and it's a terrible looking video, but this is the moment before seconds, not even a second before the gunshots.
What happened?
And I'll tell you what was going on X during this. Some of the trending, and I sent some over to you guys from my Twitter account oh my gosh, that was probably somebody who the person who was killed.
What happened?
Yep, there was a person shot, so we know that now. So
let's go through the timeline here. So just so that
let me just say one little thing during this timeline, right? As I was trying to write a prayer on X, I'm watching all this stuff come in. I can't keep up with it, and I look over to the trending, and the trending was BB gun. Fake blood, fake news. One post had, you can go on Amazon and buy capsules for with fake blood, and it won't harm you. And so it's just like a pill, and you just put in there. And this is what the narrative was. And now I think at some point they won't be able to say that anymore.
Well, no,
dead person in the background. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and yeah. So good way to point that out of where the left is moving these days. Okay. So he was scurried off stage, and at that point, obviously, because these rallies are held live, people instantly were tweeting about it or posting it on X and social media and sharing video. I mean, I heard about it, as it happened. What was interesting is, are we gonna get right to this video? Let's here?
Go to that.
Matt, I'll wait for you if you want to set it up anymore.
Well, I was just gonna say, because we had so many moments leading up to this that it's kind of like it was a lot of speculation. But
Yeah.
I think now that we know that the shooter was dead, and we're at that point in this timeline, we don't need to go over what was speculated before. But this was an interview that was done by the BBC, who was outside of the venue, and he encountered this individual here, and this is about a 4. Should we watch the whole clip? This is about a 4-minute clip.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And describing what was going on outside of the venue. So let's watch it.
Someone who was here. You weren't inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees out there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like,
Unbelievable.
Oh, like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? This is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful, because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. We saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. It was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it, but it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof. Yes, right there by that tree. We were outside the security perimeter. But my question is, there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not on every building here?
Well, there's a whole bunch of questions, I think, that are going to come.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Yes, she was right in front of me. She kept going back and forth right in front of me. Yes.
Tell us about her.
Nice horse, nice lady running with a flag. Seemed very, patriotic.
But what's the significance of her?
No, he asked me if I saw a horse.
Okay. All right, well, listen, I'm sorry you had to witness that. That was a terrible thing. and you just stay safe with your family. And
All right, so there we go.
Yeah, prayers for that guy. I hope he stays safe. Yeah, what an extraordinary tale. I mean, that kind of in living in this age of cell phones and social media and everybody, following Trump. I mean, there's so many news sources around. I suspect we're going to see video coming out for the days to come that will shed light on a lot of this stuff. The description of where he said that all this was happening. We had a map. I don't know if we have that. Do we have a map?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
Okay, yeah, just to kind of give people a lay of the land.
This overview using a map, just walking through, it was really excellent. I've been sending so many things to WND.
Good. Yes.
Kara must be going crazy.
Okay, so I have one second. You guys keep talking. I'm going to pull it up.
Oh, okay.
I will just mention the Secret Service. There's so many loose ends and just so many details and facets to this story that are going to be fascinating, and I'm going to be very alert, and I know the American people are going to be as well. I've not understood from the beginning of this how this could happen. I understood when I think it was Grant Stinchfield was saying, or he was speaking to somebody who was saying, this is an open air venue. This is the worst kind of a venue probably that you could have, because without walls, and it's just way more open even than he normally has. However, like that gentleman said with the red beard, he said, this is a small place. And when you see the maps, you see only a few rooftops. And of course, if you watch enough crime drama on television, they're always looking for those rooftops. Where could they shoot from? That's just kind of basic logic. Why wouldn't there be somebody at each one of those rooftops? And I'm not trying to say, let's just go all in on the Secret Service, but I think that there's some questions that they have to answer to.
Yeah, I mean, and any time you have an incident like this, there obviously are failures, and you suspect that even when there isn't an incident like this, that there probably were loopholes at every event.
Right.
And so, but when you kind of look at and when you kind of see the aerial view of this particular building, of where this shooter allegedly was, and I don't want to necessarily say we're confirming all of this. This is just right. what is being shared out there, based upon the footage, based upon what that the red bearded gentleman was saying, is that when you see this map, this rooftop was right across the field, obviously, from President Trump, with a clear line of sight. And so there is some frustrating. Here it is here. So and this one isn't notated, but I believe if we can see your cursor, Josh, we might be able to highlight the building at where the shooter is, which I believe is there's three buildings at the top there, and he was found on the bottom one.
So if I could just real quick, I'll walk you through this, because I was trying to find this on our maps as well. But so basically what you have here is this is where Trump was on the stage, and the audience was in this section here. Okay.
We don't see your mouse.
Oh, okay. So, I'll explain. So there's the section here that says Trump. I'll go to this map here. We'll see if I can bring this map in. One moment. Okay. Can everybody see this?
Yeah. Now we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So in this section here is essentially the showgrounds and the area that the whole audience was in this large section here. The stage was here, and Trump is speaking to them in this direction. And our friend that we just saw, the guy in the video, he's basically he's over in this section right here, and when he's saying I saw him right over there, he's pointing to this rooftop right here. Now, guys, this is not confirmed, but if this is true, this is unbelievable. This is the nearest elevated position.
That's what I'm saying. It's
shoot
shocking
at Trump.
Yeah, it's shocking.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And the word is too is that the Trump campaign or the Trump camp, requested more detail, more Secret Service detail. And now, of course, former presidents have detail for life. So those who are in his immediate circle, the folks that are like at the stage and that are with him, are with him all the time. But whenever he's traveling, there's advanced teams, there's local authorities, there's added folks who are not necessarily with the president at all times for all these events. So we don't necessarily know who was in control, who the actual folks were that were along the perimeter. But to think that that a request went out and apparently, allegedly, DHS denied enhanced security. And again, these are just reports that are coming out. I don't want to say that they are confirmed right now.
DHS.
Department of Homeland Security, who I guess oversees, who oversees the Secret Service it's and so forth. So it's a remarkable question. It's a remarkable question.
With Robert Kennedy not getting Secret Service coverage, that shocked me to my core. I thought, I don't know what month that was, but I think my husband turned to me and said, well, they're not giving coverage to Kennedy. And I remember it's like those moments that I'll mention every once on here. Like, you don't forget that moment that you're thinking, what? Mm-hmm. This is not possible, that the son of and the nephew of two men, leaders, presidential candidates that were assassinated is not given Secret Service attention. And this reminds me of, I'm sorry, the Democrat Party. They are, it's like they become animals. Animals. They're no longer human, because for the sake of power, they will allow someone to be in danger. And if former President Trump was denied heightened security with additional resources by DHS, there needs to be, excuse my French, hell to pay.
Yeah, there is. Josh, it looks like you have this is another video backing up the claims that the gentleman, the red bearded gentleman, said. This is on the X account. Walk us through what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so folks, I want to give you a fair warning. There will be some graphic images coming very shortly as we kind of walk through this timeline. At this point, this is very early, like almost, I think, a minute after the shooting. There were people in this tree area. So as you're looking at this video, and I'll play it just in a moment, to their left is where, and it actually could be to their right, but I believe it's to their left is where the actual show was taking place, where Trump was. So we'll watch this here.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy there.
So this is just seconds after they shot the shooter dead.
Neutralized him.
Lá em cima, né?
Yes,
right?
neutralized. So, that's remarkable. And again, I suspect we're going to see some more footage of what's going on here.
Well, I'm shocked at some of these pictures coming in, so you keep thinking you've seen the best picture. And then that last one we saw of Trump down, somebody was actually taking a picture on the ground, eye level with the stage. Mm-hmm. And so, that was extraordinary to me. And that came late.
Yeah.
There's going to be more to come, like you said, Matt.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Do we have, okay. So now that, and we've learned that there also is some loss of life, that maybe there's two individuals that have lost life and there's other folks that are injured. And so we'll get to that. But here's some of these iconic photos that are dropped. That are being shared.
This is a close up from Jack Posobiec. He's just essentially retweeting a photo, but this is the defiant look of Trump with a hole in his ear, which is, guys, we should talk about this is miraculous. Trump has a hole in his ear. That means that this shooter knew what he was doing, and the bullet was less than inches from taking Trump's life.
And he turned his head at God's direction, I would say. He turned his head. If he had not turned his head, it probably would have gone straight through, end to end, through his skull.
Yeah.
That's
But he
very
was-
likely.
Yeah, I'm very much anticipate looking at what the doctor's report was and seeing all of the various, AI models and CGI, putting all this up. We're going to see it, right? We're going to see all the folks try and piece everything together.
I
here.
saw one anti-Trumper post. Did I just repost somebody else who had said Trump just won the election? Of course, he won it on the night of the debate as well.
Yeah, he keeps winning it. Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Right.
And by the way, Josh, you were doing such an amazing job, and you had of walking us through this timeline. But I know that this is unrehearsed, and we're just going to be commenting about what comes into our heads. And I want to say this about where we are in this country, because this is the kind of thing that leads to further violence on a larger scale, more people involved. I don't know what that would look like. God forbid that should happen in this country. But if Donald Trump was assassinated successfully tonight, what would be happening in this country right now? Because we all know what's on our minds. There's been too much going on in this country for too long since the Trump era began. That is indicative. I've said for 7.5 years, I'm always surprised when I think about the fact that he's still alive. I know that may sound gruesome to some people, but I really am. And I think that if he loses the election, not just because of this, I don't mean that, but based on what we've been going through in the last several weeks, I'm afraid this violence will cap off the 2024. I'm afraid. January 6th, they think, was an insurrection. That was not an insurrection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hear where you're going with that, and I have to put my faith in the American people and the this is not a country that has not seen these dark days. And I wasn't alive for the Kennedy assassination. I was a young boy when Reagan was shot, and all of the assassinations that happened in the 60s. Obviously, Lincoln and other presidents have had attempts.
That was not the 60s.
And no, I'm talking. No, not that was the 1860s. but to just it's a sobering moment, and I it's one where you're right. When I heard the news that he was shot, and I was at the grocery store, and I thought, well, we don't know if he's dead, or I didn't know yet. We didn't know where it was going to go, and I had that reaction, like, well, what do we do? Like, I was instantly afraid. And
for the country,
for my family. And I called my wife. I said, Trump was shot. I'm coming home. And it was that moment. And you just didn't know what you were going to expect. And thank the Lord Almighty that it went the way it did in terms of protecting President Trump. But I also want to point out those two people, if it's those two people that lost their lives at the rally. And when Trump famously says, they're after you, but I'm in the way. Those two folks, they,
brilliant point.
I mean, that's who they really want to terrify.
That is so it's just a metaphor for what he has been saying. And you just nailed it, Matt, that he's standing between the American people that they're going for and those who are the radicals in our society, the deep state.
Yeah.
And he was there in between, but they took out the American just sitting there supporting their presidential candidate.
It's tragic. It is a tragic day.
What a terrible thing. This is that photo that I got late, and it's just extraordinary.
And this is a retweet from Libs of TikTok, but she says, how TF, that means something, how TF does this happen? And that's really the next kind of line of thinking everyone's going into. How does this happen? And we're going to share some tweets here where we're going to kind of look into this. How did this happen? So I'll start to throw those up. You guys talk, and then I'll start to kind of go through. First of all, we need to talk about the gaslighting. This has been a concerted effort to enrage Americans, to gaslight Americans, and that includes the mentally ill that will try to do something like this.
Right. I would say that the gaslighting, did you get my post that I actually, I don't think it was a retweet, where there were covers from the establishment legacy media where their headline on this event was Trump falls or stumbles after hearing loud noise. And the other one, Trump injured from fall. This is establishment media. And what I tweeted on that was, do they really think after Dementiagate, where the full American public, because it was a national debate, actually saw the truth and put two and two together, that at this point they can turn around and start all over? They've already been convicted of duplicity and conspiracy, and cover up.
It was appalling, Elizabeth. It was absolutely appalling. I posted the same thing. I said, and I commend all of these folks who are tuning into WorldNetDaily right now, because I told everybody, I posted on X, I said, I am not watching 1 second of legacy media regarding this incident. I was on Rumble. I was watching Real America's Voice. I was whoever I was, Charlie Kirk, whoever was on there, and I was watching X. I said, because I am not going to sit there and listen to Jake Tapper or Rachel Maddow or any one of these people, even Fox News. I'm not listening to any of these yahoos talk about what was going on today, because they are not grassroots. This is the grassroots right here on WorldNetDaily. It's the grassroots over there on Rumble, all of those great independent news channels that are focused on telling the truth. And I wasn't gonna, and I commend everybody to watch this. If you have those cable news channels on in the background, you got to turn them off. It will rot your brain. And I mean, look at this. What is this up here,
sorry.
Josh? Oh, sorry.
So, guys, one of our tweets that went out just recently was, they did this. The left has been gaslighting Americans against Trump since 2016. This is the cover of a major publication. Their goal has been realized, provoking unhinged leftists into an attempted assassination of President Trump. And this is a real cover of a publication of the New Republic that arguably the elites read. And the elites are always programming the people. And here we go. And so, I mean, this is not like even the craziest thing, because we're seeing tweets about, they missed, or too bad it was a BB gun, all kinds of garbage.
Yeah, it's atrocious.
And the worst, no, this is probably the worst, but the worst is, I think those headlines in established media that say he tripped or fell because he was scared of a loud noise. And I mean, talk about eating their words at this point. And another thing about the media that I've been watching, and I've got to say, it's nauseated me to see them suddenly quiet and concerned. Former President Donald Trump has been shot. Violence, America, this no place in America. And speaking in hushed tones, very serious faces, like we're supposed to take them seriously because of their faces. And I think you are the unhinged and the complicit in all of this. You have been part, like you said, gaslighting the American public for 7.5 years. And now suddenly, I mean, I know we're going to get to, I don't even know what this is, but I know we're going to get to Biden's response, Pelosi's response, and Harris's response. I said, they're all in a prayer meeting right now, praying, a prayer vigil for Donald Trump. But anyway,
praying to who? Yeah. Moloch?
They keep saying, and our prayers are with him.
Okay, looks like you've got somebody. I don't know if this is somebody who's outraged or if this is a.
You're gonna know. Okay, so thank you, Libs of TikTok again. Here we go.
I Just found out about this shit. It just happened.
Language.
I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed! There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it!
There was a white.
A
There
white
was
man
a white man. Okay, I know that this
attached
is
to
not the
that
substance, but this shows you there was a white man attached to that trigger. So, in other words, white men, you two guys are so
Yeah.
dang incompetent that you can't even assassinate somebody, properly, successfully.
The TDS is strong. These folks, Josh, go ahead.
There's this meme, guys. Sorry, I hit it again. There's this meme. Is the left okay? No. We're so far past that. The left is not okay. They're not. They're not coming back. Okay? Whatever demon got in is there to stay, and 7 more are coming. This is out of control, and this is happening everywhere.
I think
that's
you're
why
right about that.
I don't love this idea, but gosh, I'm just going to be Tim Pool, the Civil War guy now, and I don't love it. I have more video whenever you guys want to go, and go for it, Matt.
Well, yeah, I would love to see if we have at least like we know that Trump has left the building, the hospital. There was footage of that, him leaving. I just kind of want to get people up to date to kind of know. There was rumors out there that he was supposed to go to an MMA event tonight, and
you could have taken them all.
and exactly, and I think it would have been awesome if he would have able to walk into that building. But I think considering the events of today, it's best that he's not in public, especially in an unsecure location like that would be.
Well, Matt, we have a statement if you want to see that.
Yes, let's read the statement here.
Okay, so I'm going to pull that up real quick. So here is the Truth Social statement from President Trump. I want to thank the United States Secret Service. I don't know about that yet. And all of the law enforcement in their rapid response to the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the persons at the rally who was killed, and also the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. Thank the Lord. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that the shooting was wrong, and something was wrong. That something was wrong. Sorry,
that's and right.
That I heard a whizzing sound. Shots that means it shot, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. Great way to end it.
Yeah, incredible.
You know what just occurred to me when you were reading that? I don't know why, because I had been preparing a long text for something that I thought was going to be the big news event of the day. And that was that Mohammed Daif was probably killed today in Gaza, outside of Khan Yunis. And I don't want to divert too much here, but what I just want to say is this really evil mastermind who is really second in command in Gaza that planned the entire October 7th slaughter, massacre, and kidnapping was just killed today. And I was thinking about what a miracle this is, because this man needed to die. And that's what made me think about it, because you said yes when you said the shooter was dead. And here we have across the world at our best, our closest ally, Israel, and they were able to take care of a very, very bad guy. And the Lord's hand was certainly on that. And then the Lord's hand was on Donald J. Trump and America tonight, because saving Donald Trump from this is also saving America from descending into, I don't even know what would happen exactly, but to whatever that would be.
Yeah. Josh, let's read this, and then let's go to, we had a snippet of Joe Biden's comments. Joe Biden came out, and President Joe Biden did come out and offer about a 2 to 3 minute reaction to the news. It was very brief, and it was early on to where we didn't know all the details. But what is this we're looking at here?
I mean, there's so many tweets that we're catching coming through, and we hope you'll go over to our X account, WorldNetDaily, and see these. I don't condone violence, but please get some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking. No, it was the inner demon again.
Look,
I mean, we're seeing this like crazy.
Yeah. And you know, I not to say to be fair, but you know, I posted something where I said, you know, after we knew Trump was okay and he walked off and he was away, I did post that even getting shot, Trump was able to leave the stage better than Joe Biden leaves the stage.
Oh, Matt, that's a great point. Can you talk about like the state of mind that Trump's first thought was like, no, I'm going to get up and put my fist in the air. And the crowd went absolutely crazy.
Because he knew, I mean, the optics, right? He
knows that,
He knew if he was okay, he had to have a fist pump. He had to do something to, I mean, even when they got to the car, before he got in, he still raised his hand. He had to make sure
it's more than
that
optics.
the crowd.
I think, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted. I was going to say that I think he wanted to assure people.
Yes.
And I don't know, when you get hit like that, I've never been shot, though my brother did shoot me with a BB gun like 1 inch from my back once, and that hurt. But I don't know if when you're shot, if you're fully aware of the extent of your injuries most of the time. And so when you're seeing blood, he knows he's alive, but he doesn't know how serious this could be. And when he's saying, fight, 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 what hit me and brought me to tears was thinking, I don't know if he knows yet that he really is going to be okay, or if he's going to be out of this thing, because there can be consequences that are not immediately felt. And he wanted his people, the American people, to know, no matter what, you need to carry on and you need to fight.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I interpreted it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So brave.
So guys,
what do we have here? Yeah.
We're getting some leaks of the shooter at this moment. And early on, there were reports where of the shooter that are completely inaccurate. There was a large man with a beard that was going out. This is a moment taken from a person that was at the rally. And in the video previously, there's a whole range of shots and then one final last shot. And I believe that that's what this is. And this is a sniper, a counter sniper, or what they call the CAT team, counter assault team. These are guys that are pulled from the 75th Ranger, SEAL Group, and often Delta. These guys are expert at what they do. And this is him, we believe, returning fire on the shooter. Fair warning here, we'll go to the picture of that next. And it is quite disturbing. And this has been your warning. So here we go.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart's a couple of months old. And
so Trump's talking.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Oh, you see him? He saw it. So that sniper, he is responding almost immediately.
Yeah, it's almost like he had already had him in his sights.
He did. It looked like, well, I think he saw him already. And maybe radio, someone, was communicating to him as well.
I mean, he himself is, he ducks quite, like, just briefly. He kind of is like a little shocked. He'll go back and we'll play it one more time.
Yeah, play it
here.
Again.
And you know, that's a little bit old.
You see Trump here in the corner.
Yeah.
All right. And then this guy is looking that direction. We can go back to the map here briefly when we can. I'll actually do that now. Can you guys see the map?
No.
Okay, I'm going to share it real quick. Okay.
So tell us where we are again.
Okay. So at this moment that where Trump is facing this way, can you see my mouse?
Uh-huh.
And this sniper in this image that we're seeing,
Oh,
I'll go back here. Can you see this image? Okay, here we go. This sniper right here, going back to the map. He's on top of this roof right here.
I see. You're
Okay,
good at
so
this.
he's looking, and I think what happened is and this is all speculation, guys. I believe the shooter crawled his way up here, and he was out of sight until right about the time he shot.
Right.
The sniper sees him.
Right.
It's
He's
very
on the
likely.
slope.
Right.
Yeah.
He was crawling up the slope, and previously in that other video, the crowd is actually here looking at the guy dead on the roof. So they're in this tree grove here.
Did you get my image that I sent to you by direct message of the ladder leaning up against the side of the?
No, I can pull that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll pull that up while you guys chat.
I don't got anything to say. No, I'm joking.
Mark that down. I don't think
Elizabeth has nothing to say.
Well, what's remarkable here, once again, I mean, and again, this happened just within the few minutes that Trump took the stage. He was just getting going. He was on for maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes or something is what most people are saying. And so the idea that that this sniper was ready to go, that this assassin was ready to go, crawled up there rather quickly based on the eyewitness, the Redbeard's eyewitness, that it all happened rather quickly, even if it seems like it took a long time. It's like it's a surreal moment. Like even I can't imagine. I mean, I'm not a military person. I haven't been. I'm not law enforcement. I haven't been in those situations. But you can almost feel like you've done this 100 times, and then this is the time that it happens, and you can't believe you're in the middle of it as well.
I think.
So,
go ahead,
guys. If you can see this image, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
Thank you for sharing it. So this is the side building. I'm going to show you on the map, and this highlighted here is a ladder.
It's just a tiny little red line.
Yep.
I should have edited it myself and made it a little bit more obvious.
Guys, this is some really incredible stuff. So imagine this. He had to have entered from this space. There's a cop car in the corner right here. Okay. And I'll show you on the overhead what this means. He could not have come from inside the building. That means this guy, in view of people, he may have been hiding back here. We don't know. I'm going to go to the map, the overhead here, and then we'll show you. Can you see the map now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this makes a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
The ladder is in this area here. Okay.
Right.
So the ladder is essentially right here. So he came around into this parking lot, which should have been absolutely seen, crawled up onto the slope here, and then he shot the former president, soon to be president-elect. If I may be so bold.
Yes, please say that.
It's incredible. That's terrible. But I mean, let's just zoom out here. Look at this. Look at this. This was not cordoned off. How is that possible? I mean,
oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I mean that wasn't the secure zone. Apparently, yeah.
He drove on the road, or I mean, he could have walked it in. But the easiest thing is to come pull your car into this parking lot.
Yeah. Look, I mean, this is the thing about freedom, right? In America, it's like, when tragedy like this happens, we say, well, why wasn't everything locked down and and it's like, do you remember the days the president used to travel on the train and wave from the back and nobody thought they would? I mean, that's we don't want to be in this, a police state, where every single inch of every single, how far can the perimeter be? But there's definitely some failures here, and it has to be called out and it has to be questioned, and you have to wonder why was this, like you said, Josh, why was that particular area, these high points, why were they not secure?
I empathize with you. I do, but I still, again, I'm not going to go all in on, the Secret Service, I don't know where they are at fault, But I can say this, we are living in the age in which we are living. I remember that when I was a kid, my parents left their keys in the ignition. I remember when I was 10 years old going down to San Francisco to Ghirardelli Square, where my girlfriend's dad worked, and he'd drop us off when he goes to work, and we would just walk around the city of San Francisco, 2 10-year-old little girls, all day all day long until he was off work. This is not the day we're living in. And I'm not contradicting you, Matt, because again, for me to say the Secret Service did something wrong or incompetent or negligent, whatever, I'm not there yet. But I do think it's weird in this open area. I'm looking at this picture.
Mhm.
We have the presidential candidate that has been attacked more than any and more viciously than any candidate in the history of the United States. And right over there, they're not thinking that that was a prime shooter's nest.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
can't disagree with you. I mean,
that's where you would go. Yeah. So, guys,
That's
Laura,
what me as an assassin. If I were an assassin,
yeah, guys, Laura Loomer in this tweet is doing kind of the same thing I just walked through, only at a skewed view here. But here we go, right? We're just like we said. Here is the building. Trump is here on the stage, and directly across, exactly where you would look for a shooter, is where the man successfully actually got a bullet into President Trump. Laura saying, and I think accurately, the head of the Secret Service must resign. So before we didn't know, this is negligence. This is dangerously, and maybe more than that at some level. But guys, this is unbelievable.
It is. You ceded the high ground there. You know.
Yeah.
It's the only other vantage point. And again, you go back to 1963 and Kennedy in an open air, convertible driving down 6th Avenue, I think it was in Dallas, Texas, and you had if you're of the mind that Lee Harvey Oswald was the solo shooter, he was up in a 6th story shooting out there. If you're of the mind that there might have been a second shooter on the grassy knoll, that's where he would have been on that spot right there. And so it's incredible to show up to these venues like this, and have that vantage point just be completely naked,
It's crazy. Someone in our comments here, Sandra Zolman, saying, wonder why the Secret Service or police didn't have a safety drone flying above. Guys, your local police department has drones with the thermal imaging that'll see a person pop up instantly.
Yeah.
And that was not given to President Trump, which is it's still too confusing. If we want, guys, I can go to the actual image of what we're starting to believe is the shooter. I mean, it's pretty certain that someone was shot up on that roof. People saw him crawl up there. So, if the conspiracy theorist folks, I'm one of them, says, oh, the body was put up there. We'll have a lot of witnesses kind of, saying that's not the case.
Oh man, when it comes to conspiracy theories, you can spend all day figuring out how the sausage is made on a particular event. But yeah, are we going to show these graphic images here? Is that what we're leading up to? Okay, folks, let's get full warning here. If you haven't seen these pictures floating around, this is pretty graphic,
pretty ugly.
Here we go. I'm gonna pull this up, everybody. So this is a shot, believed to be a shot. As we know, of all the things we know at this moment, which is not a lot, frankly, this is thought to be the shooter. People are still working on a name officially. He is a white male. I'm just going to use like what he looks like to me. He kind of looks a little bit like an incel to me, but whatever.
What is an incel? I'm sorry.
An incel is, I guess, how to describe it.
Good job, Josh.
Yeah. Incel is short for someone that's essentially given up on society and especially women, and has decided to not have anything to do with women. But they're angry. Now, on the left, they'll tell you that right-wing incels are the most dangerous people in America. So when this first happened, my first thought was, okay, what kind of framing will this be of the shooter, right? Because you can already imagine, you can kind of imagine the left concocting their narrative. But when these things happen, they can often work in the favor of the left or the opposition. So, you know, their favorite thing would be that this be some kind of right-wing guy, and we don't know that yet. But this person, he's certainly dead in this image. I'm going to pull up another image we're using to confirm this. This is him on the roof. He's wearing the same shirt. This shirt is a Demolition Ranch shirt, which we believe is a huge YouTube channel. The most popular in the top 3, I believe, gun-related YouTube channel,
Really?
YouTube channels is Demolition Ranch. Now, we haven't confirmed that that's what this
May I
shirt
interject
is for.
something here about
Yes,
guns?
please. Yeah.
We know that the narratives, well, the narratives are already coming in.
Yes.
For instance, it's a shooter,
Yeah.
but it's not an assassination attempt. Now, I'm not saying that anybody's actually said those words, but see, to me, the first time I might think, oh my gosh, former President Donald Trump just almost got shot or was shot. But then when I was going to craft a statement, I would use the assassination word, because that's exactly, I don't know the dictionary definition of assassination. I could look it up here, but by definition, this was an assassination. That's one of the narratives. One of the other narratives is going to be senseless violence. In other words, this isn't political violence or anything. This is senseless violence, and it's caused by the availability of guns. And we're going to be hearing a lot about, making certain let's make assassination illegal is what I think the first law should be.
Yeah, I mean, we're days away from the gun argument coming up, which is more gaslighting, frankly.
Yes,
right?
Of course.
It's more
You're right.
gaslighting. Like, this is ridiculous. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's some other photos, interesting photos floating around. I don't know if necessarily we have them yet, but there's one where someone says they caught the bullet that's flying through the air. Another one says that they saw a bullet hole in Trump's vest. Or someone else's vest, maybe a Secret Service or somebody, but that, and again, these things are going to keep popping out. We can't confirm all of this stuff, because you as quickly as you can release a real photo, you can release a document.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
I just,
okay. Go ahead.
yeah. Here, I'll send it to you.
Send that to me, Elizabeth. And here we have, guys. So this image. This is the guy. He's wearing. He may be wearing the same shirt. We can't confirm. I can confirm that he looks like an incel. But so here are some of the other images that, and again, unconfirmed. This looks like the same person with questionable chin hair that we see in the image.
I know.
This is the
Dirty
Demolition
hair.
Ranch. Now, what we may be seeing is an absolute framing, right? So. This guy, he likely pulled the trigger. It's looking like that. But why is he wearing a pro firearms T-shirt? Okay, what's going on? This is where it gets weird. Again, Demolition Ranch might be the largest YouTube channel that's pro-gun, in which I love that.
Pull it up.
I'll pull it up, and
Just
they're
real
gonna love
quick.
that. Yeah,
That guy is gross looking. That's what. I'm sorry. It's not that I want a handsome, well-coiffed assassin, but I mean, this is what this, in the movies, it'd be a George Clooney.
Yeah.
No, puns or anything intended. But this is reality.
right.
What do you call them again?
Incels.
Incels.
This will absolutely be the narrative, and I think we should just be very careful and question it. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up another image here of this is coming from WorldNetDaily on X, and this is the T-shirt, right? This is the T-shirt he's wearing, and we think you can see the logo on the back here of Demolition Ranch. I hate even saying it, because these are great. These are great folks that are over there on that channel.
Poor guys.
You can
Yeah, I mean,
see-
it really doesn't.
Have they come out with a? Oh, sorry.
So I want to point out that it's just kind of like confirming what we think here. So you can see that on the sleeve is this American flag, right?
Right.
And this is the gray shirt that we think we're seeing part of that. And so if we just go here, you can see the
They
gray.
need to drop that design right away, don't you, Josh?
Yeah, I think they need to take that off the site. You can see
That's
the gray.
a good catch that you found that shirt like that. Do you have that shirt?
I do
at
not.
home?
I do not.
Come on.
You can see the gray here, and we'll go over to this side. And on this side image, you can see the flag on his arm.
Wow. And the logo is very distinctive.
Yeah, it's very distinctive. So there you go.
Yeah. And
I just sent you the pictures of the jacket. Literally, Trump's got blood down his face.
Yeah.
Like 2 big streams, and there's a hole, and it looks like a burn mark, from a fast moving bullet hitting and going right through his. Matt, your first opening was one of your first comments was George Washington and that amazing story. And years later, the Indian chief came to George Washington or vice versa, and they said that he was like a miracle, though I don't remember the exact words that they used, because they said we had all of our best men shooting at you. All of them were shooting at you, and they went through every part of his clothing. Did they kill the horse? I don't know.
I don't know if they died, but they definitely shot horses out from under them. Yeah, absolutely.
Shot him out from under. And here, somebody's got to make a meme. I got to get my Canva open.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we found this photo. This is incredible. And, one thing that I don't think George Washington had back in the day, at least available to him, was some sort of Kevlar type of body armor, which I assume if Trump is speaking outdoors, that he has to be wearing some sort of protective gear under that. So if he did if that is a bullet wound, then hopefully, or a bullet hole, hopefully.
Can you magnify that? Because on my pad here, when I magnified it, it was so dramatic. Just make it bigger.
See. Yeah, let me see. I'll be able to pull it over here, and we'll zoom in on it just a minute.
When you say close up,
guys, I need to just be a little more clear on. Incel means involuntarily celibate. That's literally what it means.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know if we were going to keep going down that road, but
Matt, I don't want to. Why we're laughing at this, of course, guys. That's what, if anyone asks, incel, involuntarily celibate.
I need to be kept up to date.
Yeah, they don't
on these things.
They wouldn't choose it, but it's been chosen for them.
Yes.
Yeah, we just used to call that.
I've heard about them. I didn't know they had a special name though.
Should call that nerds, but
and all young teen boys are that for a while.
Yes, so every male in the world has gone through that.
Right. Some just don't. All right, let's just move. Let's
move on.
Yeah. So Joe, I want to get to this Joe Biden clip though, because he was asked if he believed that this might have been an attempt, an assassination attempt on Trump, and I think we have that clip here on the X feed here. So if we can find that, I think it was.
Which
posted,
one was it, Matt?
It was posted on my thing 46 minutes ago, right there. So if you scroll down, you're going to see it. Maybe that one there,
the Biden clip.
Yeah, let's listen to that.
I'll start that over, and we'll bring that in here, folks. Oh, he looks sharp as a tack. Okay, 1 second.
I don't know enough I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
That is so diligent of Joe Biden to be that way.
Well, and again, this came out, within the hour or two post the shooting. So, I guess he's just trying to, cover, what you're not supposed to say and say whatever. But this was clearly an assassination attempt.
Because he is so cautious, about the very fine people quote that he keeps, or injecting bleach to cure COVID or prevent COVID. I mean, all of those things he was so cautious about. So I'm really glad he's keeping
losers and suckers, right?
Losers and suckers are vets from World War II. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a cautious guy. Okay, I'm looking up assassination just to be sure that the action of assassinating someone, the assassination of I was going to bring up the Archduke, triggered a series of events that could lead to the outbreak of World War I. That is the worst definition. I'll get a better one for us. But okay, that was Oxford too. Forget it. You could show something else while I'm looking at
well, I mean, I generally have always taken it to mean, taking out a person of notoriety.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Now, Wikipedia says assassination is the willful killing by a sudden, secret, or planned attack of a person, especially if prominent or important. And I'm just wondering, man shoots at presidential candidate prominent. What could be questionable about the assassination ruling here by Joe Biden?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there anything like that really hits?
Yeah, and again with the rhetoric that you led off our broadcast with, the rhetoric that has been thrown at Trump for going on almost 10 years now, 8 years. The rhetoric is he is the worst person, and if you have an opportunity to save the world from the worst person, that you must go. It is your moral duty to
obligation
take it out.
To do
Absolutely.
It.
Yeah. I mean,
I was at his inauguration, and the next day when we were leaving the hotel, I was in a long dress walking to one of those big parties, the galas, and lined up around the gala were people that were ready to leap the line and attack everybody in the line. And all the women are wearing high heels and long dresses and everything. I was ready. I was ready for somebody to come after me because that's just the way I think. But these people are unhinged. And this has been going on since the inauguration. We're talking January of 2021.
I mean, Elizabeth, this is a perfect segue for me to pull up some of our tweets here. And I mean, so what we did is we went back and we looked. I'm going to pull this up right now so you guys can see. This narrative has been going since 16. Essentially, Trump bad, Trump dangerous, and even I'm going to show you. You're going to be blown away. So here is here's a Politico statement. I'll bring that up so we can see it. And see if I can get a little bigger here. Politico, Biden defiant tells donors, we're done talking about the debate. So Biden, but if you look down here, there's a quote. I have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump. I'm absolutely certain I'm the best person to be able to do that. So we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye, Biden said.
Wow. Incredible.
That's the first thing I tweeted, or one of the first, because in my opinion, this is the one thing we should be talking about over and over and over. I mean, there are many things, but the reality is if we cannot allow this to sink below the line of sight, we need to be focusing on this man just incited violence against a former president and a presidential candidate and his chief opponent, and he incited violence. And I wonder when they put Trump in the dock to answer for saying go down and peacefully protest or whatever, give them your message peacefully, they charged him with, well, actually it wasn't technically, they never charged him with sedition or any other thing like that. They used strange laws that will never hold up in court. But the intention was to say that he incited an insurrection. Well, I think President Biden has incited an assassination.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, he is part of, and I have a video clip here, guys. This is old. It's been around for a minute, and I'll share that here. So, like, this is not new. This is a supercut of this kind of rhetoric that's gotten us to this point.
I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Too many see the protests as the problem. Please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Go to the Hill today. Get up in the face of some Congress people.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Running away from Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
They go low.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Wow. I mean, it's and I remember all of that stuff. I remember all of it. You know, you can't gaslight me. I remember it all, but to see it all condensed like that and bring us to what happened today, Elizabeth, I can't disagree with you at all in that all of that is the type of rhetoric that has been parroted by the media, that has brought us to this dreadful day where two Americans have lost their lives. Let's not forget that there are two patriotic Americans who lost their lives today as Donald Trump took a bullet himself.
That I still never saw confirmed the second one died.
It's true. Well,
it is true. Okay.
I mean, no. I'm saying you're right. I
okay. I know
haven't
one
seen that, but
definitely
if that's the
died.
case,
if that's the case, and one is seriously injured, wounded, and you know, it's sort of like this idea of when, say, a soldier dies. And I'm always thinking of Israel right now because that's where soldiers are putting their lives on the line. And those people that died being killed by terrorists, or these people in the stands, we hear these things and we grieve, but it's gone because I can't carry the grief of tens of thousands of people a year, their deaths. But think about the families. These two individuals went to do their patriotic duty. It was a beautiful day. They're there to celebrate a man that they consider to be a great man and that they're supporting. Maybe they're knocking on doors. Maybe they're going to be getting out the vote on polling day. And they've got children and grandchildren, brothers and sisters, husbands, wives, whatever, and they're gone. And this kind of violence is totally unacceptable in our country, but this is the new normal. Yeah. This is the new normal because when you have people saying globalize the intifada, kill Zionists, kill Jews, on campuses, in our streets, and they're not being arrested, and if they are, it's just for show, and then they're let back out again. This may not be violence against Trump, but it is violence that is being approved of essentially by certain governors and mayors and police departments. And it's got to stop because only when this kind of violence is crushed, like at these universities where these violent things were happening, crushed, and there are serious penalties. It's just like these gangs out there and people coming over our border. It's got to be crushed. Otherwise, we will live with the ongoing violence. This is the new normal unless Trump takes office and takes this stuff down.
Yeah.
We got a great, there's so many great tweets, but one I really liked is from a representative here in Idaho. It's just this image of Trump and it says, "Not today, Satan."
That's right.
Yeah,
beautiful.
great
it's
image.
Beautiful.
Well, folks, Josh, Elizabeth, I, as we've alluded to earlier, I am headed to the one place that I didn't expect would be have all eyes on next week, which is Milwaukee,
wow.
the Republican National Convention. I leave in the morning, so your prayers will be much appreciated for all of us that are heading there. But I look forward to checking in with you folks next week while we're there on the ground, and giving you as many details as we can muster. So.
This is a historic event. I mean, it was already, but now this is surreal. It's Twilight Zone. It's crazy. 1 week before, or is it Monday?
Not even.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
a few
Monday.
days
A few
before
days
the convention, and he's going to be. I wish I were in that room and he walks out on that stage.
It's going to be electric.
There's nothing like it. There's going to be nothing like it that we've
Oh
seen.
my God.
It'll be electric. It'll be absolutely electric. So
good for you.
I am, so I will take my leave of you this evening. I thank you so much. Follow, you can also follow me if you want to see my adventures out there. I'm on X at True Matt Edwards. So I'd love to keep in touch with you folks there. So Josh, Elizabeth, it's been great being with you tonight. God bless America. God bless President Trump. And we hope, we hope we can get through this without, we hope this was the peak. That's what I'm hoping. This was the peak madness and we can get back to normal.
Josh is looking very,
I don't know.
I know. Hey, I'm the optimist.
Yeah.
I don't mind being that.
good for you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
All right,
Thank
folks.
you.
Take care.
God bless you on your trip.
Thank you, Matt. And guys, we're happy to say that we're going to stay with you a little bit longer here. Matt will be in Milwaukee. We'll be going to him periodically. He has duties to do there as an actual representative delegate. So alternate. I'm being corrected. He's an alternate at this point. But we will have reporting on the ground, and it's going to be exciting because the very next major response is going to come there. Trump is going to be he's going to have a hole in a Band-Aid on his ear as he accepts the official nomination from the Republicans.
That's crazy.
I mean, and if there were any kind of rhinos holding out, what are they going to do at this moment? They can't. And in fact, I want to use that as a quick segue here to see that there is a building momentum we're already seeing on Twitter. First, it was Elon Musk. Elon Musk officially saying, I'm putting, I want President Trump to be the nominated president.
But I endorsed President Trump.
An official endorsement.
Endorsement.
And now Bill Ackman, which, folks, if you don't know, Bill Ackman's a billionaire investor. And Bill Ackman has just come out. He's not known for being a Republican or, frankly, a conservative. He became popular during the Harvard crisis, where students at Harvard were acting in an anti-Semitic nature. And Bill Ackman is a graduate of Harvard. Bill saying here on the tweet, I'm going to formally endorse the real Donald Trump. He's using his truth handle. I came to this decision some time ago, as many of you on X have known or followers have already understood from my supportive posts of Trump and my criticism of POTUS, Biden. I won't read the whole thing, but let's just say that we're seeing a movement from some of the folks in Silicon Valley, and Bill is a major hedge fund manager. This is a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
This is this would be the perfect description of a galvanizing event where people seeing two options in the world, and one of them seeing a former president nearly assassinated, have said enough, and they've put their name in the reputation, and in Bill's case, I'm sure it'll be sizable funds behind Trump at this point.
Josh, don't you think that this galvanizing event and true, I mean, just sometimes, we've been doing so much talking, and I have been reposting and posting and reposting.
Mm-hmm.
But when you pause to just really think of I have wondered, played this out in my mind, what happens if President Trump is assassinated? I admit it. I've thought of it many times. And when now on the other side of that, when he almost was assassinated, and I think about how real it is, and I mean, there's so many levels of emotion and anger, and I think it's righteous anger. But
Right.
this has been going on. It's not just it's the video that you played is such a small tidbit of the violent words from the Democrat Party and the legacy media. It is just a smidgen of the whole. And if you go back and think, what happened October 7th? Well, what happened was on October 8th, the Hamas supporting, Jew hating, violent, virulent, wicked marches began, and hate fests and celebrations of Jewish deaths and slaughter and all the worst things imaginable. That is, when my husband was out protesting the Vietnam War, because he was just radical in those days. He wasn't for somebody being slaughtered. He wouldn't have gone out into the streets rejoicing that 1,200 or 5 people had been slaughtered. He just didn't want to be in the draft like all the rest of the guys his age. And so they were against the Vietnam War, but they weren't for murder and genocide and slaughter. And this is the difference of this age in America. I know that these things have happened in other countries, but in America, this should not be happening. But these seminal events, how many liberal Jews who have, like Democrat, Irish Catholics, like my mother, thought it was a sin to vote for a Republican.
Right.
Irish Catholic, Jews, same thing. I mean, as Southerners, all these groups of people that just merely are being bound by tradition, their mother and father and their grandparents and their great grandparents and all their neighbors. But what we've seen is a series of galvanizing events to raid Mar-a-Lago, to have medical facilities in case they took somebody out in Mar-a-Lago. What is that? Rules of engagement? I'm not sure if they call it the same thing there.
Yeah.
To go after him with this lawfare and to convict him and to rejoice in it and to then be willing to sentence him, which they had to back down a little bit from, to accuse him of being Hitler. All of these things are hitting, and the border. Okay. These are seminal events. This is like 1 week after the other over the last 4 years, 5, 6, 7 years of seminal events where the Democrats, because they're so insular, they have no idea of that most people don't rejoice in these things like you do. Get it?
Yeah.
And so what they've done is they've gone too far. And
yeah,
can't actually say it was a registered Democrat who tried to shoot or who shot President Trump. Wouldn't that be funny if he was registered to vote?
Hey, something. It's all great points, Elizabeth.
So Ackman is just like, it's just one more person who's hitting.
I think that we're in this moment now where major events take place within days. An example of that is that just all of the news headlines were just the debate on Biden's collapse in the debate. And that was only just really last week.
I know.
And now the news cycle has turned towards an assassination attempt on
That's right.
candidate, former President Trump. What's next? I mean, it's crazy. I want to play this clip. This is Tucker Carlson on Adam Carolla show. This is a little while ago. This is, I think, a couple days ago, making a prediction. Let's watch.
On ridiculous pretenses, they fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times, and every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him.
There you go. So,
well, you and I were right there. And I don't think that Tucker Carlson is the only, I mean, he put it very well, but I don't think it takes brilliance. You don't have to be a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist, or, somebody who invents AI to put 2 and 2 together, to walk down from A to B to C to D. It's Trump has threatened. Why? Because he's not part of the uniparty. Let's just take it to the bottom line.
Yeah.
He is not part of the uniparty. It's not because of his hair. It's not because of his wife. It's not because he's for or against, a certain thing. It's because he will not be part of the established uniparty and the deep state. And
right.
Boy, when he made the announcement that he was going to talk about eliminating the income tax and replace it as once was in this nation, tariffs was the major funding of government agencies. And when he said that, I said to my husband, I probably did both. Oh my gosh, President Trump, are they going to try to assassinate him? Because, John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy were doing things that the deep state didn't like.
Right. Yeah.
And we know what happened with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'm just going through here as we speak. And there's just a lot of breaking Twitter.
Breaking tweets.
There's a lot. This isn't a breaking one, but this sure is.
You never brought that picture up of him close up of that bullet hole, did you?
In the jacket?
In the jacket. Did you bring the whole? Because I'm seeing burn marks here. In
the image?
Yes. Burn marks on his jacket. Like I see the actual trajectory or the line that the bullet.
Let's see. So I have an image here. I'll try to pull that up. Yeah. All right. Let's just see here. Let's see. It's going to take me just a minute. I'll pull that up.
He shot. How many times did the shooter shoot, Josh?
It sounded like 6 shots. It's hard to tell.
Did the what did you call the Secret Service guy or the Ranger or that?
Yeah.
What kind of shooter was that? The sniper.
So
counter.
The tactical response team that's with the president is called a CAT team, which is counter assault team, and their specialty is to get ready to receive any kind of assault and repel it rapidly. And they have some pretty mean dudes on the team. They also have some cool stuff that people have probably seen. There's images of mini guns that come out. That's the gun with all the barrels comes out of the top of the Suburbans. The CAT team is there, but also a lot of times what they'll do is they'll use CAT team snipers, and they'll actually they sometimes will bring in federal agents to come in and be counter snipers as well. So I'm just looking through some of. I'll share this one because it's great. One moment here, and so of course the memes are going crazy, and here's one of them.
Trump versus bullet. That picture.
Yeah. This is, I mean, I'm telling you, this is t-shirt time, you know, like already we're going to need the
tomorrow.
Mug yeah, we're going to need the mug. Okay. I'm going to put up an overlay real quick here. And this is the image. This is the image of the close-up. I'll pull this out here. So here is
Go closer.
Enhance.
Can you like do this? Oh, you can't zoom. Sorry.
No,
sorry,
okay.
Kira.
So yeah, no, we can zoom. We just we have to save a separate image. But yeah, I mean, it does. I mean,
do you see the
at
black
first glance,
thing? I'm
it
looking
looks
at
like
it.
a bullet hole. Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I'm looking at as a zoomed one that you can't see, and there's this black sort of, I don't know. It looks like the path it traveled on, and there is. Look, Donald J. Trump does not walk around with a jacket with. What do you think? He was smoking a cigarette and he just burned himself by his jacket by accident. Trust me.
Right.
This is a bullet hole.
Yeah, I mean that's what it looks like. I mean, it definitely looks like that. So
are you thinking I should be more cautious in my pronouncements?
I mean, it's not official, right? Because it's not on the website yet.
Oh yeah, if the government doesn't, yeah, if WD doesn't say it, it didn't really happen.
It's not there yet. So a lot of photos are leaking. I'll go ahead and just click on some of these so we can see them as we go. So let's see here. I'll bring this in and we'll enlarge it just a bit. So Andy No is pulling up these images. These are kind of gory images of the poor folks that were shot. We know that, and we're still. Did you show the video? Okay, we've seen that one, and this is an incredible photo. So here's Trump with the Secret Service, and the hole through his ear. Oh my gosh. It's amazing.
How old is President Trump? Former President Trump?
I forget. I think he's like 70 something. Well, let's see. Wasn't he sworn in? He was sworn in, I thought, in January, in his 70th birthday. So that would make him, is he 78?
You know what? I didn't mean to like freeze your brain or something. I was kind
Let me
of
look
casual.
it up real quick. Yeah,
anyway, he's in his 70s, and I don't think anybody wants to be shot. But for goodness sake,
yeah,
you know, to be in your mid 70s and to be shot, that's quite a shock.
Yeah, it is. So, so here is a video. I'll bring this in real quick, and we'll be able to see that. This is a. Let me bring it in here with us. Okay, so this video is the moment that folks were getting shot at in the background.
Oh, that's on the stadium.
This
stairs?
is behind Trump, and this is one of the folks were shot. So just I'm noticing something here. Can you see my cursor?
Yes, I can.
This is the building over here where the shooter was. So it's not that far away.
It is so close.
It's right here. So yeah, I can go. Let me just quickly go here and look. So there's two buildings. You can see again, we're in the overhead view, and this is the building you see most prominently in this image. I'll go back here, but this building is where the shot came from.
You said something that really made me think when you had the map up earlier.
Yeah,
you said he probably was beneath the roof ridge, the highest part of the roof, and just before he was going to shoot, that's when he peeked up. And again, you know, it's hard to really know, but that sniper or the tactical CAT guy, counter assault team guy, got a bead on him at that point.
So he would not have been seen, which is exactly why exactly why you would have intentionally had eyes on that side. And so here we are on the roof, right? The sniper cannot see him until he's probably, here his head would start to pop up. But yeah, obviously that should have been cordoned off. So a quick story. So a couple years ago, I was at the United Nations when Trump came to speak there, when he was still the president. And I had the job of finding a visual angle to film the arrival of Trump at the United Nations.
Oh.
There was no place where I could see him with a camera that wasn't obscured. Okay. So that's what real security is.
Mm-hmm.
All available vantage points are scouted and then taken away from opportunity. You can't go there. So like if you had an apartment that looked down on the United Nations, they would come and knock on your door and say, you can't be in here for the next 3 hours. And
Right.
that's real security. This is ridiculous.
A joke.
Yeah, this is a joke.
It's and the reason that it's concerning, well, one of the reasons it's so concerning is right now there are a lot of intelligent, reasonable, logical, common sense people who are saying, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is an inside job. If we weren't in the atmosphere, the environment that we are in today, very few people would not be thinking that. Well, what I'm saying is it wouldn't seem odd for us to say clearly there was a breakdown here, and this almost seems, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
This is like stupid as a rock.
Yeah.
That you would not be securing and cordoning off. Like, who are these guys in these buildings? Do you really think that they would say that was too much of an inconvenience for them not to go into their little warehouse on a Saturday afternoon and be forbidden from going into their business? I don't know what the business was that forms this industrial park there, but they wouldn't have minded. You just tell them you're not coming in today, and we're going to search every inch of your facility, and we're going to keep it cordoned off. Why is that too much?
This is a level of negligence that you have to ask the question. A sane person has to ask the question, how?
How is that possible?
And then what usually happens is that we should, if we had real journalism nowadays, we would know all of these answers. Someone would say, who did the initial security scouting and created the cordoned area? Who did that? Who signed off on that? Who was in charge of that field of view? These are all the things security people do.
And it's documented.
It is.
People don't just say, hey, everybody go and do, let's make sure this site is okay. It's got to be documented in a report.
If it's me, I'm never letting Trump speak outdoors again.
That's right.
Because this is like one of the things that can happen. And this is like a low tech solution, right? Like people forget that like you can fly a high speed drone into an environment and they have jamming devices and all this stuff. And yet this guy climbed up on a tin roof. I mean, not that far from.
And look at the guy. I don't know if he's an I mean, we know he's an incel, but I don't know if he's an ex sharpshooter for some, military division. But the reality is that he does not look like he pulled this all off by himself. And if he did, which is perfectly possible, they couldn't even thwart a guy that looked like that from attempting or from almost assassinating the president or the former president of the United States, soon to be president. That is a pretty low bar. That shooter should not be smarter than the Secret Service or have more creativity in setting up his site to shoot from and his field of vision and, line of sight and all that.
Okay, so I have another video. This is breaking. So this video, I'll set it up and then we'll just go right to the video. This is what the tweet is claiming. This is from Raw Alerts. New video shows the moments before the shots were fired, with witnesses screaming that a man has a gun, followed by rapid gunfire. So people saw this dude before it all happened, gosh. I'll roll it back. Here we go. He's got a gun.
And you know, that's a little bit. He's got a gun!
Let's count. I want to go back. I want to count the seconds. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
And you know, that's a little bit. He's got a gun!
7 seconds.
Stay over here.
7 seconds. So 7 seconds. The crowd is yelling, "He's got a gun." This is unbelievable. I keep saying it's unbelievable. It's completely believable. This is a big deal. Everybody needs to be fired. I'm just going to say it. I think Eric Prince, the former head of Blackwater, who's offered to protect President Trump, needs to come in immediately. I would assume that every event from this point forward, even with the Secret Service, Trump's life is in danger. This is ridiculous. Everybody watching this should be really upset. There's just no excuse for this. He's got a gun. 7 seconds later.
Hey, the redhead guy didn't sound like it was just 7 seconds for him. Now, I'm like most Americans. I have not been a Secret Service agent, and the most I know about it is what I see in a movie.
Yeah.
And normally, though, forget the movie thing. I mean, I'm just making that point. But what you normally expect, at least this is what I would think, is that everybody's wired for sound. They're all talking to each other. They're all communicating. Why wouldn't they be? And the moment some redhead guy says, "Look, there's a guy scrambling with a rifle up on the roof," in that second, the guy, no matter what, it could be wrong, but you don't risk the life of your protectee. Is that what they're called? Your protectee, because your principal, because you're too embarrassed to like have a false alarm. No, you radio to the entire team and say, "Shooter on the roof," or possible shooter on the roof. And then his guys around him should have grabbed him and brought him to the ground instead of him having to bring himself to the ground. He had to get shot first before. I mean, you're right, Josh.
I'm seeing these headlines and I have to confirm that these are real. Are these real headlines? I'm asking off camera here. Yes. Okay, these are
the producer.
Guys, these are real headlines. I can't believe it. Okay. I was careful to not go with this right away because it's so
sent
crazy.
It to you.
Yeah. Well, we had to confirm because this looks like this should be fake. Okay, here we go. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. What? Okay. I thought this was like a parody somebody put together really fast.
Okay, I sent you Babylon Bee because they were so awesome. Okay. And then I sent you a couple of other ones, so maybe.
Here is the soon-to-be-dead Washington Post. Trump escorted away after loud noises at... That's still up. That is still up on their website right now at rally.
No.
This is... You know what this is for? This is for, sadly, a large portion of the population in America that are frankly brain dead. and they have the scales over their eyes, and they will read this and think, well, there's not been a study of experts yet to tell me that someone shot at Trump. Yet here we are hours later. We already know what happened. Look at this. MSNBC, maybe the worst. Secret Service, Donald Trump safe after popping sounds heard at rally.
The popping sounds killed the two people sitting behind President Trump. The popping sounds.
So, okay. So let's think this through. And I apologize if I sound hyperbolic, or I don't mean to be. Do we think that their reporting on the election will be any different? This is like the biggest moment that we're going to rely on them is for our election. And here they're going to say popping sounds, which we now know that we knew within seconds that it was gunshots and nothing less. So now they're going to tell us, hey, we don't know anything. And then, you know, like the folks at home, unfortunately, they even watch those channels. They're going to go like, we don't know anything, like the zombies they are. And then on the election night, they're going to say there's no clear winner, but Biden looks like he's pulling ahead. And the zombies will say Biden is winning. And you can kind of see, I know I keep beating this drum. Thank you, Tim Pool. You can see where this goes. The country will be so divided that we will not have an outcome on the election. This is just a prediction. Of course, it's not anything but that.
Josh, well, firstly, I've probably thought of every horrible scenario. I think millions of Americans that pay attention have thought of this since 2020 and 2016. But that just makes my stomach just twist in a knot, because what I think of is this, that beside the fact that I've already stated that I'm fearful that there will be, if they steal this election, that the backlash, and I'm not saying I'm against it. I mean, in the sense that our founding fathers, George Washington, John Adams, Hamilton, I'm just coming up, Jefferson, all of these men, and the men that came with Samuel Adams, all of these men put their lives on the line. Yeah. And if we are unwilling to stand up to this kind of tyranny, then we should be ashamed, because every day in a free society where the people are sovereign, you have to get up ready to rule, to act as a sovereign. And, our representatives as well need to do that. But if we think that we can get up every day and think, the American people, that means each and every one of us, we're sovereigns. We are, we grant power, temporary power, limited power to our representatives. And if we get up thinking, well, we can just coast from the time we're old enough to know what's happening in the world till the day we go out on our deathbed, and just let it all go and just go with the flow, no matter what happens. And I see this, I keep bringing up Israel and Europe and everything, but I see this in the UK. They let it go too long. Now the UK, Great Britain, is probably beyond redemption.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'll get back. And I truly admire Farage and everybody there who's fighting. Look at France, 10% population, the crime rate, the violence. I don't think that for many of these states, they'll be able to recover. We can't get to that point in America. And there are too many people that at the when they say exactly what you're saying, that there's no, well, we all thought there would also be, excuse me, I'm jumping around here, but it's popping into my brain, all these scenarios, because we definitely have COVID-2 showing up, whatever that's going to be called.
Bird flu, the sequel.
Bird flu, the sequel, right?
Yeah.
So the October-November surprise is coming. And I'm afraid that we're headed to a very violent place. I'm going to get on my Learjet. I'm just going to fly to my, my getaway.
Yeah.
And it's my secret getaway that's fully stocked.
Perfect.
I'm joking.
Folks, we need to wrap up our stream here for the night. We really appreciate you being with us to watch the stream, and we want you to come back. We're going to be covering this constantly. We are so thankful that President Trump is good and he was not killed tonight. This is it's exceptional that he wasn't killed. That seems like the grace of God, and we're thankful for that. What a night. I think that many more like this are coming.
I do too.
Which is not great, but we need prayer in our nation. We need change. We need revival. We need to turn our hearts back to God. We've for too long forgotten about God, and now this is what we get.
My prayer is that that we all look within ourselves to our own personal sins where we're failing, and we ask God to open our heart and our eyes to whatever that is, because it always starts with us in a marriage, in a friendship, in a job. All you can do is control your response, and hopefully that affects people around you. And so what I'm saying is that we have been ripe for judgment by a holy God, a just and righteous God. We've been blessed above almost every nation on earth, and we have started to squander that blessing. It's gone back now decades, but it's going faster. It's getting worse. And so in 2020, I prayed over and over again, Lord, I know that we are ripe for judgment, for correction, even a very severe correction. But please listen to the prayers of those who love you and wish to obey you, and open your ears to their repentant prayers of repentance, and turn away, at least for a time, from your judgment, and give us another chance. And with what we've seen through the Biden administration, I almost consider the negligence, the competence, the malignancy here to be almost like a blessing from God to make the differentiation, this stark line between President Donald Trump and President Biden. It's so obvious to liberal Jews, liberal Hispanics, traditional liberal Black Americans, all of these groups, and even women, and that they can turn and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm getting it now. And so I just pray that we keep praying for our own repentance, the repentance for our country, and that people turn their hearts and minds to God, and that he withdraws his hand of judgment on this country, and that we have Donald Trump in office next January.
Amen. Thank you for being with us, folks. Make sure to just keep up on our social media and our website, WND.com, WorldNetDaily News. You're going to see our X is going to go crazy. Our Facebook will go crazy. And we will be back. Hopefully, we will not be back tomorrow with any thing
updates,
anything crazy. But we will go live when there is important news. We will be live by our schedule Monday, midday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Come back. We're going to have a lot.
I think it's 2 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m. Eastern, I'm being told.
I'm Eastern, so I kind of know that.
Yes, we're across the whole country and all the timelines. But you'll see that alert. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for doing such a great job, Josh. You put that whole timeline thing together beautifully.
No problem. All right, everybody, we thank you so much, and we hope that you have a wonderful night, and God bless America.
God bless America. Bye-bye.